So I'm gonna make my chicken and avocado sliders very simple to do. You ready?
I need help.
Yes, please help me out, girlfriend. Put me to work. All right, I'm gonna put you to work. So these are really simple sliders. These are chicken thighs, boneless, skinless. And what I did was just flatten it out really gently with a rolling pin. You get nice, even cooking on that, right? So I'm gonna show you how to do the marinade. But while I'm doing that really quick, Katie, if you don't mind putting together the mash that's gonna go on top. So in there is just avocado, some cilantro if you chop that up and get it in, some bacon that's crisp, and some tomatoes, some Roma tomatoes.
This sounds like a good dip.
I love it. It's an awesome dip. And a little bit of hot sauce, but you don't have to put a lot if the kids don't like the heat. Just a little bit in the avocado. So in the bag for the marinade, very simple, just some lime juice, a little bit of cumin, and the zest of that lime.
Nice.
All right? So just a little bit of olive oil or cooking oil is great, some vegetable or canola. That's even actually better if you're gonna grill because of the smoke point. Salt and pepper. Get it into your bag here. And this is a quick marinade. You can do this on the countertop for just 2 hours at room temperature. If you put this in the refrigerator, I still suggest only about 2 hours.
Do you want this in the bowl?
Yeah, go ahead and put that in the bowl. We're gonna use that to slather.
Look how good this looks. I like the idea of just putting everything in a spread, you know, instead of doing it all separate. It makes it really easy to build a burger.
It's all going in the same place. All right, so look, we've got the perfectly grilled chicken. Just a few minutes on each side. And then instead of like just putting a big old piece onto the slider, because that's what these are, they're gonna be little tiny miniatures, I like to kind of go in and give a nice little chop. Okay, so I have pepper jack cheese right here. And I love American as well. You can leave out the pepper jack if you don't like the heat. Yeah, girlfriend.
You know I like my cheese.
Got your chicken here.
Okay.
And then just gonna add over the top some caramelized onions.
Got all the food groups in that burger.
I do. That's a good slider, you know? You get a little bit of veg, you get a little bit of fruit from the tomato, a little bit of protein, you got the bread, and then over the top, I'm gonna slather this avocado dip. There you go.
I think that
Give it a try, girlfriend.
This is so good.
Yeah.
What I've got here is some avocados that we've kind of hollowed out a bit and filled them with this really great, well, cooked shrimp salad of sorts, but with an Asian flair, some ginger and some garlic and some bok choy and onions and well, we've got peppers in there, and all this is gonna go together. I'm gonna make a tempura batter and we're gonna fry it. This over here is an Asian slaw. I've got some bok choy and some bean sprouts, and over on this side, I've got this dressing that I'm putting together. Let me start this tempura batter first. Now, tempura batter, a lot of people love tempura because it's nice and light and crunchy, but don't know how to make it at home, and here's some of the quick tips. First of all, tempura batter. That's really the big tip. You get the tempura batter, and want to make it with ice water. Colder the better. Matter of fact, when you're mixing in the water, if you happen to get some ice cubes in there, that's all right. So we're going with a little bit of water, and what we're looking for is the consistency, something kind of like, well, almost like pancake batter. So with a whisk, get everything out of the center of it. Okay. And what's going to happen is we're going to actually submerge these into the batter and then put them into the oil. And I've got the oil right around the 350, 360 mark. Okay, there we go. And I'm just looking at it, getting the chunks out of it, not mixing it too much. All right, and take a look at that. That's just what we're looking for. Okay, now here comes the big trick. You got hot oil. You're gonna do tempura. Now in the restaurant at Tex Wasabi's, we dip the shrimp in, we're holding the tail, and we let them go in, and they kind of move away. This, we've got this big item here, so let me put this down to the side. And watch out, because the heat can change the temperature on that. And what we're gonna have to do is figure out a way to get it into the oil. So I've got this trick. So grab this mixture, and be careful with it, because they're sliding all around on the plate. Set it into the tempura mixture. Okay, put some on top of it. There we go. And I've tried this all different ways. I tried it with tongs, but it kept sticking to the tongs. Okay, now get this out. Get some of the extra batter off there if we can. And then just kind of like they used to launch a ship in the Navy, okay? Stand there, crack the champagne, and here it goes. Just like that. Was that quick and easy? Let me just wipe this off. Get some of the hot oil off of there. And we're gonna put the next one in. Get some on top of it. There we go. Make sure that we coat the entire avocado and shrimp salad. Now, if you didn't want to do it this way, you could actually go and just put some panko breadcrumbs on these and they would be ready to go also. Here goes another one down. And try to keep them away from each other if you can a little bit so they don't stick, because that tempura batter just wants to stick next to the one that has tempura batter on it. Kind of gets glued. Okay, and I'm wiping it off each time as I do it. There we go, and then we'll put the third one down. Submerging it, using kind of a deep but thin bowl works great for this. Okay. There's still ice cubes down in my tempura batter right now, so I know it's super cold. And then here goes the next one. Boom. Okay, so only about 3 and something about this size. So I'm gonna let those cook. Now let's talk about this. Well, I had some ginger, some garlic. I deglazed it with some midden, some Japanese cooking wine, kind of a sweet wine. All right, now I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of sesame oil. Don't wanna put the sesame oil when it's cooking. I wanna put it when it's nice and cool. A little sesame oil, a little rice wine vinegar, and a little bit of olive oil. And this is all for the slaw, okay? So we put that mixture in, give that a quick whisk. Oh, look at that. You could catch all that ginger coming out right off the bat. Nice cool slaw, nice and crunchy. Gonna go along with this really hot avocado that's been tempured with the shrimp salad. It's gonna be a winner. Okay, so that goes in. Give that a quick toss and let this set up here for a bit. All right, take a look at those. I'm telling you, that is a tempura avocado with a Asian shrimp salad in the middle of it. And we've got bok choy and red bell peppers and garlic and ginger all done together. And then this over here, well, this is the Asian slaw, and it's got bean sprouts and carrots and a nice dressing made with some ginger, some garlic, some brown sugar, a little sesame oil. And actually, I have to pop some of the garnish onto this, some fried wontons. And you can't have it without a little crunchy peanuts. All right, and then this over here, well, let's put these up. Oh, look at those. Like I said, if you don't like them fried, putting a little panko breadcrumbs on there or a little tempura bits will work out just great. But me, once in a while, you gotta have the indulgence to just jump right in. But look at them, they're beautiful. This would definitely surprise somebody that you're gonna fry up some avocados. Now, a little sweet chili sauce, just a little bit on each one of them. That's a nice little tangy sweet flavor. And hit it with some black sesame seeds for a little contrast in color. All right.
And this pan right here, we're gonna hook up with all of our flavor for our flautas. So some of our red onion going in right here. And then half of our jalapenos going in to this as well. All right, so we got some cayenne pepper in here and some cumin down as well. I love the way that cumin just really blooms in this. It's gonna smell so good, taste so great. And the cayenne for the heat. And then, of course, you know, the onions and our jalapeno. Now, what I wanna do is get some garlic in there as well. All right, just go ahead and grate this right into your pan. You can just start smelling everything. Oh, it smells so good. All right, so that's in. Just go ahead and move it around a little bit. Make sure everything's going good over here. And now what we wanna do is just go ahead and add some salsa in. Buy it at the store. You got it left over, throw it right in. I love this because it's gonna kind of bring this chicken back to life. About a cup goes in. Just getting the last of my rotisserie chicken all chopped up. I already pulled it and shredded it from the bones. You gotta give the rotisserie chicken a go. It is a great buy because usually costs just about the same as it does to buy it raw. So you might as well just go ahead and buy it and take out one of the cooking processes when you're doing your dinner. All right, so what I'm gonna do is get some cheese, a cheddar jack blend down onto my salsa. Remember we added the red onions and the jalapeno pepper, that salsa that we bought from the store as well. And then the cumin is in there. Oh, this is gonna be really good. A little bit of cayenne. And that's it, except for I wanna add a little bit of zip to it, a little bit of lime juice, all right? So lime juice in there. And this is it. This is what we are going to wrap that flour tortilla around before we give it a dunk in oil and get it nice and crispy and golden brown and turn it into a flauta. All right, so that's good to go. That's done. All right, now I'm gonna start building up our flautas. I've got some oil in here in my pan, a couple of inches, 350 degrees, bring it up, and then we're gonna start kind of assembling our crunchy, crunchy flautas. They're not crunchy now, but we're gonna make them crunchy with the fry. All right. Get our tortillas out. We'll start with 4. I like to do in like 4 batches. Don't overcrowd the oil. What we want to do now is just kind of fill up the center of our little tortillas here. 6-inch, just in case you want to know. All right, so I've got all of the centers of them filled up with just a little scoop full of your mixture, your chicken, your cilantro, everything that's gonna make this taste great. And what you wanna do is just kind of roll everything up and secure it with a toothpick. I'll get some out here so I can play. All right, and here we go, just roll it. Now, if this is too brittle, you know what to do, just zap it. Make it nice and pliable for you. Like that, and throw your toothpick in. So put the toothpick in, just kind of hold it together so all your filling doesn't fall out. And everything is cooked, so all we're really going for is that golden, crunchy brown color of your flour tortilla. All right, just 4 in now, what I wanna do is start working on our sauce, our avocado sauce. We're gonna go ahead and dunk them in. It's kind of like guacamole without all the work. So we're gonna get 1 avocado, a lime, and we're gonna get this going. Look at that, this is good to go. Then some sour cream goes in, and all I'm gonna do to that is add a little bit of lime juice for some zip. I mean, you know, the sour cream's already got it in it, but lime's everywhere today, so why not? Right into our bowl here. That is gonna be good.
Avocado fries with a crunchy panko coating. So I am just going to pit my avocado, twist, and then turn, and it comes right out. I'm going to cut my avocado into quarters, peel them, and it's gonna keep my flesh nice and intact. And avocados is basically a blank slate too. It doesn't really have a really strong flavor, so whatever you season it in or add it to, it just enhances it just a little bit. I'm gonna coat these in flour, panko, and ranch seasoning. So I'm gonna crack 2 eggs and put them into this bowl. That's gonna keep that panko on the avocados. I'm gonna use a 1/2 cup of flour in this tray. I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of ranch powder. You can add your favorite seasonings, but I love the ranch flavor on these fries. So I'm gonna add panko to this tray, a little salt, a little pepper, mix that up. All right, so let me show you how to do this. You get your avocado, roll it around in flour and your ranch, roll it around in your egg, dip it into the panko. And make sure it's coated. There you have it, super simple. All right, so my oven is preheated to 425. I'm gonna bake these for about 16 to 18 minutes or until they get crispy. I'm gonna spray it with some cooking spray before I put it in the oven. That's gonna help get that panko crispy, and it's also gonna help get that nice and crunchy. While those bake, I'm gonna make the dipping sauce for my avocado fries. I gotta have something to dip my fries in. So this dip is gonna go really well with the ranch seasoning that's on the avocados. I'm gonna use a little mayo, this entire carton of sour cream. I'm gonna zest this entire lime. This lime zest and lime juice is gonna really freshen up this dip. A little lime juice, a little garlic powder, salt, and a little black pepper. And a few leaves of cilantro that I am going to roughly chop. And if cilantro isn't your thing, you can always leave it out. Give it a mix. My avocado fries are done. And look how crispy and golden brown they got. They look crunchy. It'd be really cool to try it, right? It just came out of the oven, but this dipping sauce will cool it down. It's crunchy, and then this sauce. Oh my gosh. It not only cools it down temperature-wise, but the flavor of it, it just complements the avocado so well. It doesn't overpower it. You wanna taste the avocado, and this dipping sauce does that.
It's my avocado toast panzanella.
Oh,
All right?
Yes!
So we're doing it all in one dish. So it's all the things that you might put on an avocado toast, done panzanella style, which is essentially a bread salad. This is a salad I can totally get behind. All right, this is a great way to make it for a crowd. GZ, I'm putting you on avocado duty. I want you to dice that up for me.
Yes.
And then we're using these little Persian cucumbers. If you
Okay.
do a thin slice on that as well, and put
Done.
it all in this bowl. I've got a soft French baguette, you know, not the one that's like the super crusty one, the one that's a little bit softer. And I'm just gonna toss these with some olive oil first. So get a good amount in there and then season them. Very important step. Some salt, and let's hit them with a little bit of pepper. And toss them around. And then I've got a parchment lined baking sheet here. I'm just gonna spread these out so they get nice and toasty. Okay, this is going into the oven, 400 degrees, 10 to 15 minutes until it's toasted and browned. And then you're gonna let it cool completely. I've got one here that's already done, just like that. And GZ, while you work on that, I'm gonna make the salad dressing. So I like this really bright and lemony. Think about when you do an avocado toast and
Yeah,
you
it's
squeeze
great,
a
yeah.
lemon on
The
top.
best.
So lemon. I've got some chopped capers.
I squeeze
because-
lime. Am
Yeah, I do
corny?
lime.
You
Okay.
could do lime for sure.
Yeah, I really only do lime, but
Same here.
All right. You do lime, I do lemon. All right, a little Dijon mustard goes in. And then the real pièce de résistance, some everything bagel seasoning.
oh, it goes on everything in our house.
Yep. And give it a good whisk. Now that seasoning already has some salt in it, but I'm gonna give it a little bit more because we got a lot of veggie action going in there and they need the salt. Whisk that up till it's nice and emulsified.
And if you're looking for everything bagel seasoning, we actually did a recipe on the kitchen, so you can find it on foodnetwork.com.
Amen to
Yeah.
that.
Kitchen, yeah.
And I've noticed now it's at the grocery
It is
store
hard to
almost
find.
always. All right, so I'm gonna take some fresh basil and tear it right into here. So we get that nice, bright, herby thing going on. Some halved tomatoes. Because you know you do your tomatoes on your avocado
Panzanella.
toast sometimes. And then thinly sliced red onion. I've got that on avocado toast a lot. GZ, get those in there. And let's put, will you put all those in there? I just realized I didn't put any olive oil in my dressing.
Oh,
Hello.
no. Whoa, that was close.
Oh, that was close.
Okay, you could have just drizzled afterwards.
All right, so let's get a nice healthy amount of olive oil in there.
I find, Katie,
And
that
whisk it up.
avocados need, like, they drink salt.
Oh,
You
yeah.
never
right.
put enough salt on an avocado.
Yeah, you really have to salt it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's toss this
Oh,
together
baby.
now with the dressing.
Speaking of salt, should I put some in?
Yes.
It's a nice, healthy start to the new year here, too.
This is a
right?
healthy
Yeah.
salt. We were talking about this would be great with like a shrimp, poached shrimp or something.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
fun?
Well, you know what my New Year's tradition is? About 9:30, I go to bed.
That's it.
What?
Wow, you
Yeah,
should write
we-
a book on that.
We have
That
a
sounds
nice
like-
dinner and then we go to sleep. I don't even stay up to watch
No,
the
it's a
ball
lot.
drop.
Have you
It's a
guys
lot. I
ever
gotta
done
work
Times
on it.
Square?
No.
I have. I do it every year.
That's
Jeffrey always
right.
does
Every year we have a
that,
restaurant in
yeah.
Times Square.
So many
Crossroads
people.
of the world.
It's
It's
only a
beautiful.
million and a half people. It's fine.
It's only a million. It's nice.
And okay, GZ, while I
Yep.
plate this up,
Yep.
slice those eggs in half for
Yes,
me. Because
ma'am.
what do you usually have on your avocado toast?
Hey.
Well, how would you like them
I
sliced?
love
Just
this.
sliced in half. And this is gonna go in a nice, pretty serving dish. I mean, you put this on the brunch table, everybody's going for it. Tell them avocado's not extra at your house.
Okay. Those 3 hungry little slices they give you for $2 extra.
Right? Now, I usually like to let this sit for about 20 minutes and get nice and soft, but it's all right if it doesn't. And then I just take my eggs
Wow.
and kind of arrange them around.
Pretty.
These are medium boil. I like the yolk to still have a little softness to it.
Yeah.
Will you pass me the salt and pepper?
Yes, ma'am.
And let's hit each one of those eggs with just a
That's
little
another
salt.
thing that needs salt. Eggs
Yep.
and avocado, right?
Yeah.
Hit them with a little bit of pepper all the way around. And then I like a little crumbled feta cheese on top of this.
And this has got everything you'd ever have.
I'm gonna
in
tear
anything.
this bread salad up.
Totally. And you could do queso fresco. That would be really good,
Queso
too.
fresco.
Okay.
I love queso fresco.
So do I.
Tortilla would be.
I'm sure that on New Year's
Yeah.
Day we have this and with like 2 bottles of wine.
Exactly.
And then you really.
Pass
then
me
you take-
another
So much for light and clean.
basil.
And you sleep like a baby that day.
I know about your New Year's brunches,
Oh, we have
Jeffrey.
epic brunches. That's actually better than New Year's Eve in a lot of ways. Thank you.
Hey, Seth, tell me what you think.
Well, it just look at that.
So much going on.
Just looks visually stunning. It's like a Matisse painting.
And I guess what we can do now is we can make our avocado relish. So we're gonna use a California avocado that's nice and ripe. I take the bottom of my knife and I kind of turn it, and I just push it off with my thumb. And this way you get right to the flesh of the avocado. Kind of make diamonds right in the shell. And then I can scoop it out with a spoon. I like my avocados, whether it's a guacamole or some kind of relish, I like to be chunky as opposed to pureed. All right, so how are we gonna flavor this? A little bit of red onion, jalapenos. I mean, I think that you have to be careful with the chilies. I like to have heat kind of all the way through it, but sort of a little bit as it kind of builds at each one of the components. And then some cilantro. For all the cilantro haters out there, try it again. That's what I keep saying. We're building cilantro love all over the country, little by little. If you don't like cilantro, obviously you can leave it out. You can put something like Italian parsley in it, but it's just not the same. And again, I like to coarsely chop this, not too fine, and then some fresh lime juice. So then I'm gonna take some black pepper and some salt. Just with a fork, just gonna mash the avocado. We're gonna keep it nice and chunky.
I've got beer from Montauk. I've got ciabatta rolls from Southampton. And I thought, what goes with both of those? I think I'm gonna make salmon and guacamole sandwiches, and then you can drink the beer with it. So first, I'm gonna make guacamole. I need 2 avocados. They have to be really ripe, and I like Hass avocados, which are these brown ones. Okay, next is lime juice. I've got 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed lime juice. This is what keeps the guacamole from turning brown, so you really want to just toss it together. Next, 4 scallions and 1/4 cup of red onion. They'll have lots of heat. Have a tablespoon of jalapeno pepper. You can make it as hot as you like. 1 teaspoon of garlic. I always put garlic in guacamole. Teaspoon of salt. 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. I'm just gonna mash it together with a fork. Okay, and I'm gonna oil the salmon and then salt and pepper it. And what I'll do is I'll just sear it in the pan. It's a dry pan, you just wanna oil the fish so it doesn't stick to the pan. Okay, salt and pepper. Salt. You wanna season it really well. What I'm gonna do is sear it in the pan. And then what I'm gonna do is put it in the oven, and it comes out sort of crisp on the outside and perfectly tender on the inside. Okay, so I'm gonna put the salmon in, skin side up, for 2 minutes. And don't move it at all, so it forms a crust. I'm gonna cook it for 2 minutes on this side, then I'm gonna turn it, cook it 2 minutes on the other side. So it's really important with fish, it is with chicken, with anything, to let it rest. So I'm gonna put it on the plate and just cover it with aluminum foil. And let it rest for about 10 or 15 minutes. And all the juices get back into the salmon that way. It's really important to undercook it a little bit because it's gonna keep cooking while it sits. And I want really tender, moist salmon. Okay, next I'm gonna toast the ciabatta bread. So I'm just gonna cut these in half. I just think with bread and a sandwich, it's always nicer to toast it. Just gives it better texture, better flavor. Put them on a sheet pan, 400 degrees for really 5 to 10 minutes, just until they're lightly toasted. Take 1 ciabatta, put guacamole on the bottom, about 2 tablespoons, that should do it. Just spread it out. And then 1 piece of salmon. I'm gonna take the skin off. I'm just gonna cut it in half with my hands. 2 pieces of applewood smoked bacon that I roasted in the oven. Some arugula, give it a little peppery lettuce thing going. A little salt, make sure it's perfectly seasoned. And a little more guacamole on the other piece of bread. Hold it all together. Put it right on top. Does that look good enough to eat?
So what I'm gonna do right now is I got some green cabbage going down and a little bit of shredded carrot. That's about good. I try to eyeball it, you know, I'll slice enough. But here's the key, is I've got some ginger, some garlic, a little bit of red onion, some red bell pepper, all working with some chicken here. Little bamboo shoots were in here as well. Hit a little bit of soy sauce on top of it. And I'm gonna put this semi-warm mixture, probably, you know, it's about room temperature, but kind of wilt this mixture of vegetables underneath it. Now, the great thing about egg rolls, you can make them any way you want them. You wanna throw in a ton of veggies, great. It's one of my favorite things to make for my sister when she comes over, being that she's a vegetarian, and I gotta kinda, you know, I gotta kinda accommodate, right? Okay, so this is down. Little water on there. So these are gonna sit here and kind of mix up, and it wilts the cabbage a bit. When you wilt the cabbage, you really turn into a good opportunity of being able to roll the egg rolls better. So I need some egg roll skins. Let's see here. Egg roll skins, some milk, some eggs, and for my spring rolls, my shrimp spring rolls, some shrimp. And I've got some water working there, but I'm not gonna do those quite yet. So let me get the skins down. Couple eggs. This is gonna be kind of a wash that holds the egg roll together as it works, or as it, you know, fries. Otherwise, you can do it with a toothpick if you've got some deal with eggs you don't wanna go through. So those in, a little bit of leche, a little bit of milk. There we go. Let me give this a little whisk. Great binder this is. Now, sometimes if you're really having difficulty getting the egg roll to stay together, I've seen people take the egg roll and actually submerge it in this egg wash. I don't quite go that far. I'll show you my little technique here in a second. Okay, that. Keep these, yeah, if you're making a bunch of these, keeping a kind of a damp towel on top of them will help them from drying out, because once they start drying out, they don't stick together too well. Okay, just pull a few out. Now, this is how I party. I throw it a little bit down like this. That's toward the back of it. I grab a couple pieces of avocado like that. Reach in here, grab some of that mixture of the cabbage and the chicken, like that, with a little bit of the carrot. So over once, over twice. Get it up over there. Now keep all those pieces in, because if they start poking out, well, those are the ones that, that keep it from binding up well. Okay, just like that. Hold it down just a little bit. Make sure it doesn't come apart on you. There we go. That one down in. There we go.
I feel really strongly about guacamole. I know you don't hear that a lot. But I just think usually it's this puree of avocados that doesn't have a lot of flavor. And I just think it's got to have lots of flavor and be really chunky. This is how you take the pit out of the avocado. Just like that. These are perfectly ripe. I want them so that they're bright green. And they're ripe enough so that they come out of the shell really easily. If they're too ripe, you'll find they're really brown. These are just perfect. So green around the outside and yellow in the middle. These are gonna be so good when Jeffrey gets home with chips and margaritas while the tequila lime chicken cooks. Gotta have something special when he walks in the door. Okay, one more half. See, when they're ripe, it comes out really easily and it's beautiful. Okay, now I'm gonna season it. You know, people ask me all the time, what's the best way to keep the guacamole green? And there's really one key ingredient, lemon juice. There are all these theories about having the seed in it. Forget it. It's really about fresh lemon juice, and it's got to be freshly squeezed lemon juice. Okay, we've got that. And then all kinds of delicious things to season it with. Hot sauce. I like when it's really spicy. You can decide how hot you want yours. I like garlic in it, so chopped garlic. Red onions. It's gonna be so good. Lots of salt. And freshly ground pepper. And this is the secret to really good guacamole. I don't puree it. All I do is cut into it, just like this. So it's really chunky. It mixes the ingredients together. And it stays really chunky this way. Just run your knife through the avocados. Okay, just mix it up and make sure the flavors are well blended. And the last thing I add is tomato. So I've chopped tomatoes. I've taken the seeds out. I put the tomatoes in last because I don't want it to color the guacamole. Just toss it lightly. I'm sure it needs more salt. I really want to get the right balance of avocado, lemon juice, salt and pepper. Little salt. That's pretty good. I think Jeffrey's going to love it with corn chips, yellow corn chips, blue corn chips, or you can even get red corn chips. How crazy is that? That's going to be really good. If you're looking for a totally delicious and versatile Tex-Mex salad, I've got just the thing. It's Fiesta corn and avocado salad. I'm going to start with the corn. So let me tell you how I do this. First, I cut off the bottom of the corn so it'll stand up straight, and then I run my knife between the kernels and the husk, just straight down, and they all just come off. I cook this in salted boiling water for about 5 to 7 minutes. Really depends on how tender the kernels are. So this is my system for cutting corn. Instead of having it bounce all over the kitchen, I get a sheet pan and a clean kitchen towel, and I just cut the kernels right onto the kitchen towel, just like this. So that's 3 ears of corn, and then pick up the kitchen towel and just put all the kernels right into the bowl. That works, right? Okay, the next I need cherry tomatoes. I've got 1 pint of cherry tomatoes. I use heirloom tomatoes because they look great. Cut in half through the stem. And then half a cup of red onion. Tex-Mex needs onion, right? And I've got 1 Holland pepper. And I'm going to show you how I cut it so that you have perfect little dice. Just cut it right down the sides, like that, and you get flat pieces that you can dice really easily. I know there's some left over, but you can snack on it. So I'm just going to dice this in like 1/2-inch dice. You can use orange pepper, red pepper, yellow pepper, or all 3 if you want a real fiesta. Somehow I think you should make this salad when corn is in season. You could use frozen corn, but it really never tastes the same. I sometimes serve this as a first course like a salad, but it's a great side dish, or it's gorgeous on a buffet. Next is 2 jalapeno peppers. What I did was I seeded them, took those ribs out, and minced them really finely. Gives it a lot of heat. It's great. Makes it very Tex-Mex. Okay, next is a lime vinaigrette, which is going to really wake up all these sort of Tex-Mex flavors. I'm starting with 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed lime juice. I need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. 1½ teaspoons of lime zest. That's got a lot of flavor in it. Little garlic, just 1 teaspoon, minced garlic. And because it's Tex-Mex, 1/4 teaspoon of chipotle chili powder, which is chili powder, but it's got a little smokiness in it. 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. I'm just gonna whisk it all together. I love these little whisks. I love making vinaigrette in a measuring cup. You can measure it and whisk at the same time. Okay, I'm gonna pour this over the salad. It's gonna really be delicious. Think of all the flavors in this. Give it a big stir. Just make sure it's really well combined. It does look like a fiesta, doesn't it? It's gonna be beautiful. And I have 1 more thing to add, avocado. What I did was I diced 2 avocados and I tossed them with lemon juice just to keep them from turning brown. And I added at the end because I don't want it to get too mushed up. I want to see the diced avocado. Okay, a little more salt and pepper. Make sure it's really well seasoned, because it is, after all, Tex-Mex. I'm just going to taste it just to make sure it's good. It's great. Got great heat, but it's also sweet from the corn and the tomatoes. Okay, now I'm going to put it in a serving bowl. And while I do that, let me show you some ways that I love to serve the salad. So I use it in my roasted salmon tacos instead of guacamole for a real change. It's great on the side with slow roasted spiced pork or tequila lime chicken. It's wonderful on a food table, and it's always the first to go. But this is the way I usually serve it. put it in the middle of the table for a first course, and everybody just helps themselves. And now you know why I call it a Fiesta corn salad.